One of the most requested things from you guys is talking about Afterimage Strike and how to deal with it. I've also been seeing a lot of people asking Bandai to nerf this ability. When your opponent uses Afterimage Strike, it can be frustrating to deal with because you cannot land any physical hits on them or hit them with super attacks. So keeping up pressure can be annoying for a lot of players. However, Ki blasts in this matchup are your best friend, and not a lot of people are using them to their full advantage. Important to note though, super attacks and ultimates can be dodged with Afterimage Strike, but with the Ki blast, there are 3 different ways you can use them across the roster in this game that can make it absolutely not a problem to deal with Afterimage Strike anymore. We're going to break it down for you guys in 3 different tiers because some characters can blow this up completely, some can keystorm them, and there's of course a general way that everyone can do, and we're going to talk about all of them in this video. So hit that subscribe button and notification bell to help raise that 38% even higher, and so you don't miss out on any more Dragon Ball sparking content. Now, let's blow up Afterimage Strike. So Afterimage Strike is a skill point ability. It costs 3. Typically, I believe it's just 3 across the board to use it, skill points wise. And when you use it, you can't hit the opponent with a physical attack. However, Ki Blast will land. And unfortunately, and we'll do a super attack here. We'll just do a regular super. You see, he dodged that, and we'll do a ultimate attack. You'll see. He actually dodges both of this. And fun fact, this ultimate attack from Trunks is unblockable. So yeah, it's a problem. This ability is available on a select few characters in the game. However, the biggest culprit of it being broken on it, due to their already existing great kit, is Super Vegito. That's just the Super Saiyan Vegito variant. I know I have a God Vegito you guys are looking at on screen. Mods, PC version, man. So sick, right? But thankfully, this character doesn't have an instant spark. If he did, he would be absolutely broken. But with Afterimage Strike, his high damage and health, naturally, he is a common character you will fight in single ranked matches. But of course, keep in mind, outside of Vegito, the characters that do have it in this game and you need to look out for whenever you match up against them are GT Goku, Goku Team, Kid Gohan, Krillin, Videl, Master Roshi, Han, Dabura, and Zamasu. If you see any of these characters on the field, you need to be paying attention to their skill points and whenever they use it. Some of these characters will announce it out loud though, so you can hear them scream Afterimage Strike like Pan or Krillin. And while some of these characters definitely need it and improves their kit overall and their viability, I think Vegito is quite excessive, and I think many would agree with that. I would even say GT Goku as well, but you will mostly be seeing Master Roshi in DP teams using this due to his low cost and unblockable supers. But you see, we made Vegito use Afterimage Strike here, and Ki Blast ultimately just blow this up completely. Let's actually power up to limit with Trunks, and you'll see he cannot get away from any of these Ki Blasts. However, he still does have it active, and he's blocking and getting, well, dodging relentlessly the physical attacks. But in addition to dealing with Afterimage Strike, my favorite thing, and we're going to start off with this tier, is sword characters, sword users specifically. There's also some characters that don't use a sword but still have this key attack. When you're standing still with the character and you hold down the Ki Blast button, they will throw out this slash. That slash is unblockable. We're gonna make Vegito block right here, and I'll throw out another one. You'll see it breaks his guard. You see the red glass breaking over him. It knocks him back. It breaks his guard. So insanely good on characters with swords and characters that could do the slash. DBZ based Trunks is an extremely strong character in his own right, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but if you properly use his zoning tools, especially against the Afterimage Strike character, let's just say they will not be rematching you. Almost every character in this game can really use the Ki Blast to their full potential and just overwhelm opponents at distance and even close range with Ki Blast. It's just sword characters have edge, no pun intended, when dealing with this. You'll also notice that they can't deflect this too. It's like, it's so good. You have to be using this. I'm gonna throw out another one and try to time a deflection. Yeah, you see, like it breaks the guard. However, you can't spam this back to back. You'll see I throw out one and I'm holding it down to throw out another, and it just launches a regular Ki Blast. There's about a 2 to 3 second cooldown window in between when you can throw these out. It's not necessarily long, so you're gonna want to like throw out Ki Blast and then throw out one, throw out Ki Blast and then throw out one. There's kind of a rhythm to it. Find that rhythm for your character, and trust me, this will change every aspect of your damage dealing in Sparking Zero. There's also a charge Ki Blast, which a lot of characters do by holding down the Ki Blast button. The sword characters can do it by moving. You have to be moving as a sword character in order to do it, and it looks like this. You can actually kind of like time it better. Yeah, there's a timing right there. Get better with the timing and you can combo this. This does a lot of damage, and it could actually blow up, pun intended, Afterimage Strike users. And that's almost universal. I believe majority of the cast can do that. But keep in mind, if you're a sword user and you stand still, you'll throw out the slash. So you can actually mix these up in your approach, right? You can mix them up and then throw out the slash whenever you can. It's great. It's good damage overall. Of course, a big reason why this is so successful and a really good method is your ki management. Now, if your ki is pretty low, you're not going to have a great time dealing with this, and charging up over time against enemies can be quite scary because they could just rush you down while you're charging up if you're not ready for it to deal with it. But of course, that's all changed when you have instant spark, or if you go into sparking mode in general, which everybody can do. But characters with instant sparks find this method to be really, really good. Like, you could just constantly spam this down on enemies, man. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. And look, after sparking runs out, actually, like we dealt a lot of damage. We already took out 2 health bars. He's already at full. You're also at full ki, so you can keep it going, right? And if you're really good at managing your skill points, you'll be able to like do this throughout the match, and you'll see I already got 3 again. I can power up to the limit and then rinse, repeat over and over again on the enemy. Now, obviously, I'm not like doing it to the most efficient way, but like, you get the idea. This is crazy. And again, we're at full ki right as soon as it ends. Going into sparking and raining down ki blasts on enemies nonstop until it runs out is probably the most efficient way to use sparking mode, because right before it ends, you could always launch out the ultimate attack. So this way you can maximize your damage overall. But I only recommend doing that if you have enough skill points to go back into instant spark, because it's very likely that after you do this and you run out of ki or you run out of sparking, the opponent, and you hit them with the ultimate, the enemy is going to be very frustrated and try to rush in on you. With characters like base Trunks, who deal less damage overall, it makes your damage output way better and can guarantee an ultimate attack landing against enemies not in Afterimage Strike. And I'll show you guys that right here. So with Trunks, right, we'll power out to the limit, we'll go into sparking. A lot of enemies, when you get them with this, they'll be stuck deflecting or blocking, or they don't really know what to do. With Trunks, you could actually do some pretty cheesy stuff. So you could throw out a sword slash, which is unblockable, and then throw out an ultimate to follow it up. And you guys have an idea here of exactly what's going to happen. The sword slash is going to break their guard and make it so that they get hit by this every single time if you line up the sword slash properly. I've been securing a lot of W's with this. I'll be showing clips right now on screen. It is one of the most cheesiest things like in this game. I can't front. And a lot of characters have access to this. It's just base Trunks has a better time with it, I think, because his ultimate is a projectile. If it's an ultimate where they have to dash in, which a lot of characters do, like so you see right now we have Vegito set to guard, and so we'll do this and then go into an ultimate. And you see right there, he actually, so the CPU is really good at guarding, and just to show you, it is blockable depending, I guess, on the enemy and how quickly they get their guard back up. Fuzumasu is another great character that can do this as well. He has a slash even though he doesn't have a sword, and you see that he is blocking and he's still being hit by it. I believe Goku Black can also do this as well, but in his Rose Super Saiyan form. I don't have Goku Black on this version of the game right now, so I can't do it. But remember, if the enemy isn't Afterimage Strike, you're just going to want to be spamming the the sword slashes to kind of like keep them humble with it. Stay in sparking. You don't want to launch any ultimates until you're for sure that their Afterimage Strike has worn off. It's a 15-second duration, so you're going to want to just rain down fire on them and keep them humbled, you know. But I can show you many clips online where this absolutely blows up everybody that I've come across. So the main focus is to slash away at Afterimage Strike characters until it runs out, and then before your sparking runs out, throw out a sword slash and follow that up with an ultimate attack, only if you know that their Afterimage Strike has worn off. And the reason why I use base Trunks is because that move is actually unblockable. So catching them off guard while they're trying to deflect, block, and it's a really surefire way to rack up some crazy damage, and it's helped me like pull off some insane comebacks against Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas, Blue Gogetas, Vegetos, UI Gokus, you name it. This works tremendously well, especially on ranked. I do have to give a major shout outs to Gamebreaker God. He's a good friend of ours on the channel, and he is the biggest streamer on YouTube for Dragon Ball sparking and is probably top 5 at this moment in the game. He pioneered this method and has meticulously crafted a way to deal with these crazy characters online and essentially figure out how to cheese the ultimate cheese. The closer the slashes to the enemy before you go into your ultimate, the better. So we'll rain down some, throw it out, and then we'll launch a super attack at them, or an ultimate, whichever one lands the best way for you. And remember, this is unblockable, so it's kind of crazy to get on characters, and this will deal 15,000. I've even seen it hit 18,000 on certain characters. The defense varies, of course. And if you're spamming keys, you keep in mind that you cannot go directly into the ultimate. The way the game works is like, see, if I throw this out and I try, I'm pressing it right now. I'm trying to press L down in triangle, and it took forever for it to register a move. So it's not going to be something that you can go immediately into. You actually have to return to neutral with your button inputs in order to throw out the ultimate in a clean way. So we're going to be throwing out key blast, key blast, key blast, slashes, you know, like far away distance. They can dash left and right to dodge all this, by the way, but you throw these out, and then you throw that out, and you wait, let it travel a little bit before you throw out the ultimate. So that's essentially how you want to go about it. Now, the reason why I do this in base Trunks and not Super Saiyan Trunks is because Super Saiyan Trunks does not have an instant spark, so the method already is a little bit more tougher to pull off in later game of matches. And he also loses the unblockable super attack in this form. So keep that in mind. He can still do the slashes, of course, and rain down key blast, but you have to manually go into sparking. He doesn't have an instant spark. Base DBS Trunks is kind of has the opposite effect. So with base DBS Trunks, you can still use him for this as well and rain down key blast, but the issue is he doesn't have an instant spark on his abilities. He does have the same unblockable as a regular super, which is pretty cool because it only uses 3 bars, and technically if you go into sparking, you can use this almost 4 times in rapid succession against enemies. And again, this is unblockable, but you have to manually go into sparking for that to work. So keep that in mind, guys. Deals less damage. I think it does like 9,000, whereas the ultimate attack in the other Trunks will do 15,000 or higher. So about 8,000 right there, but no instant spark. So that's the issue. This method is best and easiest to execute with DBZ Trunks with the sword. He's not the only one that can do it, but other sword characters Slashes and Zamasu as well as Goku Black and Super Saiyan Rose can do this too. This counter playstyle and confirm into ultimates is insanely strong. I even do this against characters that don't abuse Afterimage Strike in close battles where Trunks may not have enough hit stun on his melee, like against Brawlies or Gogeta's. But this absolutely blows up giant characters. So if you see somebody trying to cheese you with giant super dashes and push you non-stop, break this out. Trust me, you're gonna teach them a valuable lesson that day. This can overwhelm opponents, give you free openings to super dash in behind them, or as they're frozen trying to defend against the slashes. And also using this can make an opponent waste their sparking as well, because if you keep knocking them back and you keep them at bay, they'll get frustrated and they won't have time to use their sparking. It's also great if they keep spamming it to cheese ultimates at you. You can even burn it out that way. You often find that enemies will get a little bit frustrated and you'll be able to bait out a super dash, because they'll see as soon as you try to sword slash, a lot of enemies will just super dash in to get behind you. But if you're in sparking, you can just back away and key blast them in their face to completely stop their approach. I can't tell you guys enough how valuable this is in this game. Or you can sidestep to get behind them after they super dash in and clap their cheeks. So again, all you got to do is save up your skill points, spark naturally if you can, and once that is over, and let's say you landed an ultimate, while the enemy is down and unlocked off of you, you can instant spark again if you have enough skill points to keep that pressure on enemies continuously. Literally getting 2 of these off in most matches will net you a win with base DBZ Trunks. And other ways to use the sword slashes: if you want a breather to activate spark, the sword slash can interrupt them long enough to let you spark up safely with no worries. I mean, hey bro, if they're gonna cheese you with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's, Afterimage, or unblockable Beerus ultimates, I think this is fair game. But please, do not abuse this and be cheap. We're just showcasing this to you guys on how to deal with cheese if people are trying to cheese you. You also need to develop a melee game. Don't just become a zoner in this. You will get absolutely blown up and never rematched. And this will, of course, absolutely decimate people that only know how to spark up and go for cheesy unblockable ultimates. This explanation was kind of long, but I just love sword characters, man. Sword characters are so sick in this. So you can already expect the Trunks guide is going to go hard. Now, up next is the Smash Key combo ability. We got to give major shoutouts to Aeronage on YouTube for putting together this and absolutely blowing up this meta. So yes, we know regular Key Blast can absolutely blow up Afterimage Strike, but the Smash Key combo, which we talked about a little earlier, is when you hold down the Key Blast and it charges up a bigger boom. And you can kind of find the rhythm for your character and just continuously launch these and get combos going like that. This is hard for Afterimage Strike users. Will not have an easy time evading this, and you can rack up some crazy chains on this. I wonder Let me see how many hits I can get with this. At far range, close range as well. Like this works really, really good. So about 17, 15-ish, I see like it gets a little bit more inconsistent. And plus, by that time, they already will have probably run out of Afterimage Strike. But you can rack up crazy damage with it, as you can see right there. And almost every character can do this in this game. So the method for that is to catch them off guard, right? Hit them with these a couple of times and get them to start countering and blocking. And then once you see them moving up, you can start going for these crazier, heavier ones. And of course, it goes absolutely hard in sparking. You can just keep on hitting them with this. They can deflect this though, so keep in mind, guys. You're just gonna make sure you practice your timing on this and get a little bit better. I'm clearly having issues with it myself. Unfortunately, characters like Piccolo fused with Kami will not be able to do this. His Ki Blast actually is a triple one, and you can't launch another one until they disappear off screen. So it's not gonna work as easy with Piccolo. You can still put on some pressure with it, but just keep that in mind if you guys want to use Piccolo fused with Kami. However, regular Piccolo actually can do exactly this just fine. And also characters like Bojack and Cooler who have a paralysis effect on theirs, they can't do this as well. So they can't spam this as easy. As you can see, it's a little jank. So keep that in mind with characters like Bojack and Cooler. They have a paralysis Ki Blast, so it doesn't work the same way. But they can still get combos off of it, which is really cool. And again, major shout outs to Aeronage for this, because the final tier and other Ki Blasts to deal with this outside of the general one and the sword slashes is belonging to a smaller list of characters. These are characters that can launch a slow moving single Ki Blast. You'll notice right there, you launch this, it barely knocks back the enemy. Like, that keeps them really close. But this actually makes it so that you can continuously get these off over and over again in neutral. And it's super satisfying to go for. The characters that can do this are Super Saiyan God Goku, Great Saiyaman, regular Piccolo, Krillin, Yamcha, Base Master Roshi, Super Buu, and Gotenks Absorb Buu, Garlic Jr., Android 13, and Super Android 13, Jace, Whis, and Toppo. It's the same concept. All you got to do is hold down the Ki Blast. You can do it while moving, or you can do it while standing still, and just throw them out as you are just completely toying with the Afterimage Strike character right there. You can actually circle them menacingly. That's terrifying. Once you figure out the rhythm for all of this, guys, you're going to see a lot more people, unfortunately, rage quitting against you or not rematching you. Just keep that in mind. When you cheese the cheese, these are things you got to expect. I can't recommend enough that in DP battles, some of these characters are very, very necessary to have on your team if possible. This will help you tremendously out in Sparking Zero. To have at least one or two characters that can deal with Afterimage Strike in whichever way that you want. Like, I have Trunks with his sword slashes, but you could also throw on a Goku Black and transform into Rose to deal with that as well. The simple charge Ki Blast works too, and keep in mind, go into sparking to absolutely obliterate them with that pressure. But in my opinion, sword characters have the most insane mileage with this to guarantee ultimate attacks at range, and is also super satisfying to land. And a lot of players unfortunately don't know how to deal with this. I promise you, if you add this to your kit, even if you don't play a sword character, it'll help you secure more W's and climb the ranks in Sparking Zero. I don't see a lot of people, or enough people, really using Ki Blast in neutral or as an approach tool. There's a lot of damage you guys are missing out by not using this. I also see a lot of people are rage quitting and not rematching when this is happening to them. But truthfully, you should be rematching to learn its weakness. This method is not foolproof. It's not going to get you an instant W, because a really good player using Afterimage Strike can still blow up this playstyle approach if they know what you are trying to do. But this is how to deal with Afterimage Strike, guys. And a highly requested video from you all. We got plenty more coming your way, and I can't wait for our advanced tips video to be finally finished. I've been cooking up that one for quite a while, and there's some really exciting stuff in there. I can't wait to show you guys. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. Please comment down below if Afterimage Strike is no longer a problem for you to deal with, and if you found this helpful. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.